Internet, today, Snake Eyes Dead End is available at all of your local comic book stores, and it is glorious. To celebrate that, we had the one and only Rob Liefeld on KoiCast this week, available right now, a brand new episode for your ear holes. Look at it, iTunes, Spotify, anywhere. But also, I teamed up with my old friends at Collider to do a full-on hour-long conversation with Rob over on Collider Connected. Now, that drops later this week. We dive into Deadpool, Snake Eyes, Robservations, comic books as a medium, pop culture, profit, the future of things. I pitch my Deadpool 3 idea, all sorts of goodness. That full interview is available later this week over at Collider. But in the meantime, I've got a few exclusive clips just for you, dear Koi Pond, which you can watch right here. Just keep watching. You don't have to do anything. You just keep. It's about to start.
I really believe that we are into the multiverse of movies now. You're talking about bringing Michael Keaton into a Flash movie?
I think what you can do with Deadpool is, since we're living in this age of Fox kind of folding into Marvel, you and I, about a year and a half ago, talked about Deadpool kills the Marvel universe. Right. I think it'd be really interesting if they did Deadpool kills the Fox universe, and they have Deadpool taking out Chris Evans, not as Cap, but as Human Torch. They have him taking out Michael B. Jordan as Human Torch. They have him with Ghost Rider as Nicolas Cage. You get rid of that universe with Deadpool because he's canon, and then Time Turner him into Marvel.
The quarantine has done you good, Coy. That is, I'm going to tell you right now, that is an outstanding idea. See, I'm not the guy, but I'd hit produce on that in 10 seconds. And again, you just made the best case if you were pitching me, but I'm not the guy. I'm just sitting here dreaming up the stuff that they take all the way to the bank, the multiverse of banks. The multiverse of banks is here.
Headpool. Because you, with Headpool, in a pool, as a head, talking about you, it was meta on meta, him saying your name.
I should have brought him in here. I literally, Coy, he's creepy AF. I mean, like, my kids, that's what they'd say. I cannot believe Hasbro. I can't believe it exists. And one guy, there's always somebody smarmy, but I'm going to tell you, it is way more impressive in person. When you look at it from every angle and the mouth is moving, the neck is jawing, he goes back. I'm glad we have a boogie board. I had him on a raft and he kept falling off. And I was inches from him going in the water. And my family is like, you're going to ruin this. Because I was getting a little too daring. And that is not in stores until September. So considering I've had it since June, I am way ahead of the game. I think it is going to blow people away. I expect to see them in a lot of people's houses with them turned on and talking to you. It's going to creep you out, man. It is phenomenal. It is, again, that's next level. The guys at Hasbro must be through the roof. They were like, let's make a head that talks and says 1,000 things. I mean, so Coy, you should have cued it to me because I'd have him with me. Right, he's out on the mantle. He's outside.
That's where he should be. I love that he's on a mantle as he belongs. Yeah. That's right. My number one Christmas list or birthday list this year, Collider. So you know.
Well, I have no doubt you'll get your hands on one. I firmly believe the past informs the future at all times. And look, again, the guys who say, oh, you're just being nostalgic. No, the Eternals, which came out in 1977, and Jack Kirby was like, look, I just did the New Gods and Darkseid and Orion and Mr. Miracle and all that over at DC for 5 years. Those were the first books that he had written and drawn himself. Well, now he's back at Marvel. He introduced us to a new race of immortal gods that walk among us. It was literally almost like, I'm now just going to do the fourth world at Marvel, but it's going to look different. You never thought Icarus and Orion looked anything alike. You didn't think Circe and Big Barda looked anything alike. He was fresh. He had a new take. He tied it into Mayan mythology and just went pyramids and Indians and, clearly Jack had seen, Chariots of the Gods, which had come out right around that time about alien life and in search of aliens. And he applied that all to the Eternals. And what we are about to get is those characters played by John Madden, Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek. Kevin Feige clearly is leaning hard into Jack Kirby's body of work from 1977 to 1979. That's not nostalgia. That's source material that I don't believe a whole lot of people have encountered. That I have the omnibus of the Eternals that I bought a decade ago. That thing is like $800 on eBay. Go check now. Wow. You can't get one for less than $600, and it'll be ripped and torn. But those omnibuses are limited edition, and when they go out of print, they go out of print. Now Marvel's going to flip the switch and I think do a new edition. But if you want to get the entire collection, there's 2 trade paperbacks or 1 omnibus. Now, what else I grew up with, and I talked about it in my diversity episode and my 70s episode, was Master of Kung Fu, Shang Chi. He was born in 1973 and lasted in his own comic through 1983. Okay? We're about to see a movie from him in 2021, 2022. That is my childhood. So my childhood is not nostalgia. It is homework. Okay? For me, it's my past, and I know those stories and those adventures and the craft, and I got to talk to everyone who made those stories. But to the unversed, it's homework, and it's worth diving into. And if I can, in a podcast, kind of give you the high notes and walk you through comics and maybe tie yesterday to today, that's great fun for me. And as I said to you on another talk we did, it's therapy. In the pandemic, I learned to talk into my big Yeti here, okay? and I got real friendly with it. And so now, luckily, yeah, a lot of people, I do have a couple pros who call me up the minute, like when my episodes drop on Tuesdays and Fridays, I haven't missed it yet, Tuesdays and Fridays, always a new Robservations. They're into it and they talk to me. And as we get closer to the 90s, which then I'm in the industry as opposed to observing it, it's going to get crazy because I have not even begun to share all that I saw, heard, and experienced. Okay. And I was in the thick of it. And my peer group and we shook the trees, and we moved the needles. So I appreciate that people are along for the ride. I did not know how much I needed that outlet. And I'm happy anybody's listening. If 2 people talk to me about it, I feel like I did my job. Okay. And again, it's just, wow, you can record this and you can upload it and people will listen and they'll interact with you. So you knew this, I learned it. I'm thrilled.